everyone, welcome to another episode of our virtual community kitchen. I'm Nori Milton, a maternal child health worker here in Prince George. First, I'd just like to recognize that we are on the traditional territory of the Lheidli T'enneh, and we are honored and privileged to be able to share this land together. Today on this episode, I'm going to teach you how to make an old-fashioned chicken and dumplings. I've gone ahead and prepped all of my ingredients. It's really simple. There's 3 cups of chicken. You can use any kind of chicken. You can use leftover chicken from a chicken dinner you've had. You could use wild grouse. You could use turkey. This is a really good leftover meal. If you had a rotisserie chicken, you can use 3 cups of shredded chicken. But for this recipe, I didn't have any leftover, so I've gone ahead and I have cubed 3 cups of chicken breast, and I have 2 cups of chopped carrots. I have a cup of frozen peas and 3/4 of a cup of chopped onion. I have 2 liters of chicken stock and 2 cans of cream of chicken soup, and we're going to need some poultry seasoning and some pepper for this recipe. I'll meet you at the stove in a couple minutes and I'll show you how to throw this all together. Okay everyone, so we're at the oven now, or the stove, and we're gonna add a couple glugs, probably about 2 tablespoons of olive oil to our heated pan, medium to high heat, depending on your stove, and we're gonna add our chicken right now. And we're gonna cook that and let it brown until it's no longer pink. I've got chicken on my finger. And once this is brown, I'll show you how to add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so we've been cooking our chicken on medium to high, well, it's about a 7 on my stove, for about 10 minutes now. It's no longer pink. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our 3/4 a cup of chopped onion to this mixture, as well as our 2 cups of cut up carrots, and our cup of frozen peas. We're just going to mix that all up. Keep in mind, if you decided to start with pre-cooked chicken or leftover chicken, then you can skip the chicken step and you can just put your veggies straight in there to saute if you want to soften them up. I'm just going to give it a quick mix here, and I'm going to now add in my 2 liters of chicken stock. Actually, my pot might not be big enough for 2 liters, so we'll see. We'll play this by ear. Oh no, we'll be okay. Okay. So 2 liters, like I thought. And then we have 2 cans of our cream of chicken soup that we're gonna add to this. Get our cream of chicken soup out of the can. And we are going to add to this poultry seasoning, about a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. I'm just opening the lid right now because this is a new poultry seasoning here. Not. Okay. Now my hands are freshly washed and they're clean. I'm going to measure the way my Nana taught me. I'm just going to pour the little palm of my hand of poultry seasoning. That's about a teaspoon. I'm going to dump it in there. We're going to mix this all up, get all those lumps out of there. Now you can salt and pepper this to taste. So if you like it saltier, you can add more. One thing that my family really likes is KFC gravy. Now, I think the reason they like it is because there's so much pepper in there. So in this recipe, I usually add 1 to 2 tablespoons of black pepper. You can omit that if it's too spicy for you, but my family quite enjoys it that way. It warms you up from the inside out. So we're gonna let this simmer. We're gonna let this simmer and come to a boil, and it'll break apart all of those parts of our chicken soup. It'll make our carrots nice and tender, and then I'm gonna show you how to make the dumplings to put in here. So I have a mixing bowl here and my bucket of flour. So I'm just gonna take approximately 2 cups of flour, stick it in my bowl. These are super simple to make. And this is the big, huge filling part of the dumplings. We are going to take a fork. We're just gonna add water now. And we're gonna pour it in until the consistency is that of dough. I'm gonna mix it up. Our hands are gonna get dirty at this point. I guess if you wanted to, you could put this on a flat surface and roll it out. I just find that it's just way easier just to use my God-given tools and use my hands instead. So I'm gonna flour my hands a little bit. Make sure that I'm not gonna have flour sticking to them. I'm just gonna knead this in the bowl. So it's just flour and water. It's about 2 cups of flour, 3/4 cup of water. I'm gonna make a ball of dough. And as soon as our stew has been simmering, I'd say for maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, basically until the carrots are nice and tender, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our dough, we're gonna roll it out in our hands, flatten it out, and it doesn't look too pretty, but we're gonna drop it in our pot. So I'm gonna prepare a whole bunch of these, and as soon as our soup is ready, I'll meet you back at the stove and show you how to add them. Okay, so our stew has been simmering on the stove. It's looking and smelling delicious. And we have our dumplings all made here, and I've just thrown them over the side of the bowl just to keep them organized and from sticking. So we're just gonna add them to our stew mix here. And when they start to float to the top, it means that they're done. You can do them as thick or as thin as you want. And just stick them in the pot. Once they're in there, we'll give it a quick stir just so they don't stick to the bottom. I didn't oil this bowl very well, so they're sticking to the bowl a little bit, but that's okay. They're forgiving. I'll throw them in the pot here. Give it a quick stir, and those dumplings will just cook in there and start to float when they're ready. Another thing that I also prepared was a couple tablespoons of cornstarch with a little bit of water. I've mixed it up, and we're just gonna add it to our, it's solidified here a little bit. I've had it sitting here for too long. Here, I'll use the back of this to stir it. And we're gonna stick it in our pot just to thicken our stew a little bit. It's really important that you use cool water, and it helps the cornstarch to dissolve. And then we're just gonna add it to there, and it'll help thicken. And then once these dumplings have floated to the pot, the dough will be cooked through, and it'll be ready to serve. One thing I do recommend though, when you serve this up, because it's quite hot, if you're doing it for a little one, that you put it in a bowl and just let it sit for a couple minutes to cool off, or you can add even like an ice cube or something to it just to cool it down a little bit for them so they don't scald their mouth. I'll serve this up in a couple minutes and show you how it turned out. So our dumplings are just starting to rise to the surface, which shows me that this is done. So I'm just going to scoop some up into a bowl, show you what that looks like. And there you have it, our old-fashioned chicken and dumplings.